This meeting shall come to order at 7:15. Councilman Adams, District 1, will lead us in the invocation. Would you all rise, please?
Dear Lord, please give us the wisdom to govern, even with conflicting interests. Let us always sense the welfare and true needs of our city and residents, and put them before our own. Bless all who are gathered here today. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Would you call the roll, please?
Adams.
Here.
Jones. Here. Safrati.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Brownlee.
Here.
Turjansky.
Excused.
Agee. Here. Albert.
Here. There is no addendum this evening, but we do have minutes to approve. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the special council meeting on March 26th, meetings on March 26th, 27th, and 28th, 2014, and the regular council meeting on April 2nd and 16th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Madam Chair, as I read through, I noticed a couple things that were mistaken, and I would like to move to amend in the following ways. You see on the first page, March 26th, just above the large word legislation, it lists Finance Director Irene Kroll explained the proposed budget to council. That actually did not happen during the public hearing. That happened later during our consideration of Ordinance 2014-27. So I believe we should move that out of the public hearing and into the meeting in its appropriate place. That's the first spot. The second is on April 24th. You'll see the first page of April 2nd. In the minutes, the approval of the minutes on April 2nd, it says all voted aye and none opposed. That's a mistake. I actually abstained from that vote because I was not present at the March 5th meeting. So I abstained whenever we approved those minutes. And then, if you turn to April 16th, you will see during the residents' or citizens' comments that we left out one of our residents in the comments, in the list of comments. Everyone was listed except for Mrs. Doris Hendricks' comments. They are missing from the minutes from April 16th. And then finally, as you were, that is it.
Okay, first of all, the public hearing was closed, and Irene Kroll was not supposed to do anything at that point, so that's not to be changed. But your other corrections, we will make sure that it is duly noted.
What was your comment on the first suggestion?
It was a public meeting, and it did not include any presentation from our finance director.
Yes, that's why I said we should remove that.
No, the public hearing was closed before Irene spoke.
Right. Well, yes.
So she spoke before we considered the ordinance on healthcare, which is listed next?
She spoke.
Yes, she did.
Because we discussed that for over an hour after we introduced ordinance 2014-27, and all we have listed there is this ordinance had its first reading.
Okay. All right. We are fully aware of your corrections, and thank you very much. Would you call the roll, please?
Will we move to amend, Madam Chair? I move to amend.
I told you that we would be amending the 3 of them that you mentioned. Again, you have to realize that this is all on tape and
Yes,
also
ma'am.
written notes, so sometimes things are missed.
So-
we can amend them as you suggested, the last, the comments that came from the residents. Let's move to approve as amended, please. May I have?
Madam Chair, we would have to
May I
make a motion to amend. We can't just merely say we're going to. We have to make a motion to amend them. And then vote on that motion, and then vote to approve as amended. Those are the rules governing this body and how it does its business, Madam Chair. That's all.
We have never done it in that way before. John, would you please do a correction, please?
Well, I mean, you can do it the way he's suggesting. I mean, is everybody in favor? Why don't you just, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So we're done.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Would you call the roll, please?
Adams. Jones.
Present.
Safrati.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Brownlee.
Yes.
Agee.
Yes.
There are no communications this evening? That's a question? No, no communication. We have council reports this evening from Community Life Committee meeting. You don't have a report? Okay. And the minutes will be filed. And since Councilman Trojansky is absent this evening, the finance meeting report will not be, it will be filed and will not be heard this evening. Moving to the department reports, Chief Dursnick.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam President. No report.
Law Department, Mr. Montello.
No report, Madam Chairman.
Police Department, Chief Popolarczyk.
Thank you, Madam Chair. During the month of April, the police department responded to 1,925 calls for service. Coming up on this Saturday, just so everyone here is aware, in case they care to join us, the Naples Schools Fun Fest is going to be there. The police department will have a table at that event. We're also going to have the DARE graduation. It's going to be at the high school auditorium on May 15th, 9:30. Officer Swope handles that for us every year. Expect a pretty large attendance. It's a pretty big class this time. As most of you know, Chief Merritts is retired no longer with the department. I'll be serving as acting chief for the interim until such time as he's actually out in the books and out with the chief. Also, those of you who follow the followings of the Southeast Communication Center, that's the proposed dispatch center. We continued meetings with that. We took proposals for the CAD system that's going to be used there, and we continue to move forward on that. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. We now have a short period of time for the citizens' comments. If you'd like to step up to the podium, state your name, your address, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Bob Halen, H-A-L-A-N, 16226 Maplewood Court. First of all, I want to congratulations to our new Chief of Police, Popolarczyk. Welcome. I salute you. You're my commander. Second of all, I would like to ask the law director into looking into censure. It's been done in the federal government. Is there a chance of having censure here in this city council? If you don't know, can you look into it and let us know in the future, near future? Thirdly, Mr. Mayor, you're put in a bad predicament by a saboteur, a Benedict Arnold, and his stooges, or is he a stooge? Mr. Brownlee, are you a stooge, or do you have stooges following you? Now you know what I mean. You can't even have a meeting without your total interruption. Procedure is normally The roll call. Again, you interrupt the president. You show no respect for your superior, and she is far superior than you ever could be. This city has gone downhill financially, and you've done everything since you took office to sabotage the forthcoming election, which you did with your stooges. And I'm telling you, I have stood at this podium. I've called liars, thieves, traitors, and you are a traitor to the city. You're a traitor to your people in your district. You're a traitor to, as a city councilman. And to the city, you've done a disservice. We wanted to go forward with both elections to get money back into service. Healthcare. You did nothing but to destroy. I'm talking to you. You don't have the guts to face me. Smile. But you, disastrously, what you've done to the city. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Mary Ann Tellum. I live at 14204 Granger Road. I am here because it has come to my attention that the mayor and city council, or some people I'd say, I can't say everybody, wants to modify our contract with Waste Management by taking our recycling away, but we would still be paying the same amount of money. Well, I would like to know, where is the money that is supposed to be being paid to Waste Management? We are also in arrears to Waste Management. Where is that money? Was it used for other expenditures? We pay for this in our taxes. So we need answers to this. Why is this being done? I mean, that's like, when you're saying you're going to take that away, that's like going to Mark's, bought $20 worth of merchandise. Sorry, but you only get $10 to take home with you. You're going to pay to subsidize whoever. When this administration came in, we had a surplus. Now we're in fiscal watch. Where did all the money go? And I think we have a right to know what has happened. There need to be answers. And I know a lot of people too are very much against this. A lot of people don't even know about this thing with the recycling yet. But I have to say that my council person had the integrity to let the people in his district know about what was happening in the city. And I applaud him for that. Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Joanne Majoros, M-A-J-O-R-O-S. I live at 14408 Tokay Avenue. My comment is also regarding the recycling, and I understand you have to, raise money. That's
You need to speak into the microphone.
okay. Okay, I know you need to raise money, but one thing I have a problem with. The first thing is I went to our website and I couldn't find the minutes of any of the meetings. That's my money that you're putting into the website. I want that paid for, and I want it updated regularly. And I sent out an email as soon as I found out about the problems with the recycling. Only one council person answered me back. And I know Anthony, who was my council person, was out, he was working. And Bill was the only one who answered me back. So I do appreciate that. And he's the only one who spoke to me one-on-one about this issue. I had asked questions like, if we're having a problem with this contract, if it's too expensive, why don't we go find somebody else that'll do it at a decent rate? 3 years ago, before this contract was accepted, I thought I heard somebody say that we would save $3,000 going with another company. But we voted that down to save $3,000. So, and the other thing is that other company would have recycled every week, not every other week. People from Waste Management have said that our residents don't recycle. However, our recycling amount is going up. The people that are involved with it. People say that they're throwing grass and other things in that recycling the thing. I understand, in those blue bags. But at the bottom of the recycling thing, it could be misconstrued. It says we accept grass clippings. They may not figure out that you're not supposed to put them in the blue bag. And then, if we have to curb recycling at the tree lawn, I want a public place to recycle. Yes, we have St. Monica's and several other schools who do paper. St. Monica's will also do cardboard. And yes, they raise at least $6,000 a year. And I'm getting the facts on Monday, or Friday, so I will give you the figures if you want that. And that's only for 8 bins. And how many spaces do we have in Maple Heights that we could collect paper for? Now, the other thing is that they can't collect cans and plastic and stuff like that. It's just not feasible for that one place. But could we have it like at the service center or something like that? Have a bin for people to bring their plastic and their aluminum? I know we have issues with the city. I've got problems down the street too. But I'd like to keep moving forward. Don't stop. Because people do stop and then they quit their habits. And the other thing is that if we are going to keep this company as, at least through the year, to work out our debts with waste management, why are we looking at extending the contract for another 2 years? Is that because we owe them, so they're holding it over our heads that we can't have a payment plan unless we keep it for another 2 years? Or are we allowed to take bids for those after this contract is over? So those are my questions.
Good evening. My name is Gloria Jackson. I live at 18100 Libby Road. This is my first meeting, so I don't really know how this works. I just have some concerns that I don't know if this is the proper place to bring them up, but I'm going to bring them up anyway. The first one I have is the police department. I don't feel like they interact with the community enough. I don't see enough involvement with the policemen in the neighborhood and interaction as far as getting children in a proper environment where we can feel friendly towards the police officers instead of looking at them like our enemies, the way it should be in any community. Also, I feel like that area where the Raymond High School is tore down at, if maybe the neighborhood could take a collection or something and we can do something and build something for the seniors there, like the other communities have, with some modern facilities where they can have a nicer place to be at. I don't know how that would work, but I'm concerned about that issue. I appreciate the Congressman, Mr. Brownlee. I met him for the first time, came door to door, talked to me about some issues. I didn't agree with everything he said, but he was very polite and very responsible, and I very seldom see council people walking around as he did this weekend talking about the issues. Whether I agree with him or not, it doesn't matter. It's a matter that he's visible in our community. That means a lot to me personally. And so I just want to say I have some other concerns. I won't bring them up now, but once I find out how this situation works, I will be here more often, because it's for everybody. This is everybody's city, and it should be just, the money should not just be for the people in the head office to make the decision on how the money go. The people that live in Maple Heights should have a say-so and where the funds are being distributed and how. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Al Glantz. I live at 5758 Longwood Avenue. I'd like to remind council to inform the residents in their districts about the route change for the Memorial Day Parade on Monday, May 26th. The parade will line up at the Maple Heights High School stacked parking lot, located on Mapleboro and Clement Avenue at 9:30. We will step off promptly at 10:15. We'll march down Clement Avenue to Libby Road to the Veterans Memorial, which is on Lee Road. For several years, the veterans who have marched in the parade have asked about making the parade route shorter, because it is getting too hard for them to march. Some of these men and women who are marching are in their late 60s, 70s, and yes, even 80s. We have tried a couple of times to use the parking lot at the old St. Wenceslaus School. Our phone calls still go unanswered. Participants in the parade include 4 veterans organizations, the Maple Heights Police Honor Guard, Maple Heights High School Band, Melkovich Middle School High Steppers, the Maple Heights Police Auxiliary Honor Guard, Melkovich Middle School Cheerleaders, the Maple Heights Fire Department, Home Depot, Maple Heights Service Department, the Maple Heights Senior Center, classic cars, weather permitting, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the Maple Heights Little League, and I'm still waiting for the word from Civil Air Patrol and the National Guard. I thank Councilwoman Agina Agree for meeting with me and the other veterans and families to voice our concern about serving hot dogs and so forth behind the Veterans Memorial on Memorial Day. Out of respect for the veterans and families of those whose names are on the memorial, we are asking Mr. Brownlee to reconsider his idea about selling or giving away hot dogs on Memorial Day behind the Veterans Honor Roll. Maple Heights is the only city with some council members and others who think this is a good idea. If you were in Washington, D.C., this would never be allowed at the World War II, Korea, or Vietnam memorials. Why do we want to have it here? If you still want to sell or give your hot dogs away, why not do it in the Mapletown Shopping Center at the old Buy Rate store? This way you don't have to worry about blocking off any streets. I caught a lot of hell at last year's parade from veterans and family members about not one but two men dressed up in Marine uniforms running to houses greeting people, and why did I allow it? These are the same men who asked me if they could, and I quote, march in the parade. The Memorial Day Association does not allow any politicking or campaigning in the Memorial Day Parade or service, something Mr. Brownlee was doing. I think an apology is due to the veterans by Mr. Brownlee and his friend for their actions. Being former Marines, they should have known that when you march, you march. There's plenty of time to greet people after the parade and service are over. The Memorial Day Association is funded by 4 veterans organizations. We do not ask the city for a penny. Our expenses include the upkeep of the memorial, the small flags that we pass along the parade routes, the programs, flowers, and whatever else is needed. As most of you know, we had a bad winter last year, and that was very hard on the Veterans Honor Roll. We will have to make some repairs to the flower bed walls after Memorial Day, and we have no idea what this is going to cost us. So, again, I want to thank you for allowing me to come up here and speak on this. Chief, I want to say congratulations. Thank you. And whatever we can do to work with you. Also, we have stickers over here by the table, but where I'm at, support our troops and God bless America. They're free of charge, they were donated. So after the meeting, if you want to help yourself, please feel free. Thank you.
Timothy J. Levi, 5541 Garden Street. When I was younger and in school, didn't realize what the importance of Memorial Day was. When I was, it was a day off. We usually go for a picnic or whatever. Then when I was a little older, playing an instrument with band, we would be in the parade. And sometimes we weren't really, didn't care too much for that, I'm ashamed to say, because that took away from our planning time to go on a picnic or whatever. But after serving in the military, I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I realized the significance and the importance of Memorial Day. And the city in the past has been very supportive. But for some reason, I guess because of this shortened route, I've been told there's been some derogatory statements made as to the length of the route. And I'd like to see it maybe a little longer than what the new route's going to be. But I think that the big problem again is where will we form? The only place that we could form that it always was at the park by the school there. So any ideas anyone has, or that they or city officials could talk to some place like the where Wenceslaus used to be, so we put a little bit of heat on them for next year so we can lengthen the parade a little bit. I think all us veterans would appreciate, because all of us, I think, feel it's a little too short, but it's too long for many of them. As a matter of fact, when I got on council, that first parade I was in as a council member, I walked, and a number of council members were used to riding around on little golf carts. And some of them were mad. I said, "What?" I said, "Hey, if you guys want to ride on your carts, I have no problem with that. I'm going to march." And so they put their carts aside, and from that point on, those council members and a council president, Jeff was council president, and as mayor, everybody walks. And it gets hard. Matter of fact, I'm usually in a parade with one of my convertibles, and they're all standing shift. And as being older, pushing in that clutch pedal gets pretty heavy by the end of that parade. So that's my comment. And like I said, any help any city official could give to finding a location where we could extend the parade, but not as long as it was before, I would appreciate. Thank you.
Gerald Arnold, 20709 Bowling Green Road. I got a couple of comments. I did also hear about the proposal, or at least not a proposal, but at least a consideration to reduce the recycling. I think it's a good idea if we do recycle. I think we ought to consider keeping it. The city is trying to be environmentally friendly, I assume. I mean, I know there was a push at one time to have upgraded lighting and to make our buildings more efficient. And so we're saving the environment on one end, and now we're going to turn that around and not recycle. So I think anything we can do for the environment is probably a good idea. So, and I think that we ought to consider keeping the recycling. Now, did I say curbside recycling? No, I didn't say that. I mean recycling, but at least the opportunity to recycle. So if they have big bins at many locations around the city, I would throw it in the car and take it over and throw it in the bin. It's fine. It doesn't have to be curbside, but I wouldn't abandon the whole thing completely. I know that we are in fiscal emergency or fiscal watch or a warning at this point, and the tax levy that was on the ballot yesterday didn't pass. So that I know I did hear that we had 120 days. I'm not sure the exact number it is, but I thought it was 120 days to submit a plan to the state how we're going to deal with this. We probably used 30 of them already, so we're down about 90 days. I would ask that whatever we do, I look at our website, as the one lady said, that there's not any information at all in there on the website about it. As the plan is developed, as ideas come forward, maybe put some of the stuff out there so people can read it and be informed, because if people are informed about what's going on, they're more likely to be involved in it and take part in it. So if there's nothing out there for people to see, I know we said that we passed a temporary budget. Anybody seen it? I haven't. It's not available on our website. It could be, and then people can at least get an idea of what it takes to run the city from a budgetary standpoint, but there's nothing out there. So I would hope that we use technology and the quickness of technology to put things out there for people to see, people to participate in, and ask people their opinions too. People's ideas, some of them may be completely over here, but some of them might have a lot of merit, and that's something we should consider. And the thing that we have to get, and we've said, the residents have said no to higher taxes twice in 6 months. The only other way, one of the other ways that we can raise our revenue is our housing values have to go up. So easier said than done, but what are we doing to do that? We've got to help the process along. We just can't say, well, they'll go back up eventually, but we got to do some stuff. I've seen in my driving around, and now it's getting warm, I'll do more walking. There's some places that need a lot of attention. And those homes and those foreclosures, a lot of them, but those homes are really dragging values down. So we have to do something about the code enforcement in order to make things look better. Good evening. Joseph G. Shumsky, 5530 Oakwood Avenue. I'm here because I want to thank Edwina for coming to the Legion a week ago Monday and talk with us about the problem, about the hot dogs and everything. I just don't, all I want to say is, I don't understand, maybe some people don't understand what Memorial Day stands for. When I went to school, it was called Decoration Day. Before I got out of school, the government changed it to Memorial Day to honor the people that served in the United States, our armed forces, and who lost their lives so we could have a life that we have today. And to go and want to have hot dogs and entertainment behind the memorial, in my opinion, is wrong. Why not do it on the 4th of July or on Labor Day at Stafford Park, where you don't really need any permits and block off streets and everything else? And so I wanted to let you know, Mr. Brownlee, that I would wish you would reconsider your thoughts. And I want to applaud Chief over there, John, and say hello to the mayor and to all yous, because I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you.
Alfreda Abedini, 15800 Evening Star Avenue. And yes, I voted for the levy. Needless to say, I'm saddened and frustrated to witness the defeat of our levy and a voter apathy that flourishes here. I want our city to survive. I want good services, and that takes money. You don't get anything for nothing. I want to feel safe in my home and in the streets, and I want to be able to depend on the police and fire to help me quickly if I need it. I don't want Maple Heights to become another East Cleveland or North Randall. I'm a 55-year resident. I've seen many mayors and council people come and go. Some good and some not so good. Mr. Brownlee, you fall into the latter category. You seem to have a lot of misguided energy. You have lived here for only a few years. You don't even know our city. You have swayed the people and a few of your colleagues with your destructive thinking. I question your motives. I wish you could channel your negative thinking into something constructive. Talk about the blame game. Blame the city for potholes? What about Old Man Winter? Blame management on the deteriorating housing? Not the banks who don't care, not the people who let them deteriorate. Blame the city for the junk and garbage that's in the backyards, not the people who let it happen. A city is only as good as the people who live here. Mr. Brownlee, in my opinion, you are out of control. In my younger years, I was pretty involved in most everything that went on in this city, including politics. And if I were young again and had the energy, I certainly would consider passing a petition for a recall of your council seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Tanya Black, 21414 Hillgrove. I am here to remind everyone that the Lions Club is having a job fair tomorrow. It will be held at the Lutheran Church on Libby Road. That's 19000 Libby Road. It will be from 10 to 3. All is welcome. Please come out, check out what we have to offer. Thank you.